The model below represents an equation. Which equation is represented by the model? Well, we have the model here. Each of these columns is worth 1/8. They took 1/8 and they broke it into 4 groups. So there's 4 groups and they divided 1/8 into 4 groups. So my answer is going to be, how much is this? This is 1 out of 32 squares. So I have 1/8 divided by 4 equals 1 out of 32. Greta makes 8 kilograms of snack mix for a party. She puts the snack mix into small bags for guests. If Greta fills each bag with 100 grams of snack mix, how many bags can she fill? Explain your thinking. All right, so she starts with 8 kilograms, but she's putting it into groups with grams. So the first thing we need to know is how many grams are in a kilogram. Well, 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So we need to figure out how many grams are in 8 kilograms. I'm going from kilograms to grams, so I'm going to multiply. So 8 times 1,000 is going to be 8,000. So we have 8,000 grams is what she has here. She's taken those and putting them in groups of 100, which means we're divided. So 8,000 divided by 100, and that's going to equal what's put in each bag. Now, when I'm dividing, if I have these zeros here at the end, I can take off these 2 zeros here, and as long as I take off the same 2 numbers of zeros there, now I have 80 divided by 1, and that equals 80. So she has 80 bags. So my explanation, I changed 8 kilograms to 8,000 grams, and I took that 8,000 grams and I divided it into groups of 100. Boom. Order the following numbers from least to greatest. Least to greatest. So let's start. We start with the largest place values. So this number, 456,879, 456,879, 456,879. So up until that point, they're equal. They're equal. So now we're just looking at the place values out here to determine our least to greatest. Well, I have 1,000th, 1/10th, and 100th. Well, 1,000th is going to be the smallest. So that's going to be the smallest, the least. And then 100th is going to be the one in the middle. And 1/10th is going to be the largest or the greatest. There are 12 pounds of brownies in a bake sale. Each pan is the same size with the same size pieces. Each cut brownie is 1/16 of a pan. How many brownies are in the bake sale? So we have 12 of these pans. And each pan has 16 brownies in it. Each one is worth 1/16 of it. So there are 16 brownies in each pan, and we have 12 pans. Okay, before I do any more work, I'm going to take out the answers which could not possibly be it. I'm going to have more than 1 1/3 pieces of brownies. I'm going to have more than 28 pieces of brownies, because that wouldn't make any sense. 12 pans and I got 28 brownies, that makes no sense. Now to figure out my equation is going to be 16 times 12. So B equals 16 times 12. I could make it 20 times 12 and give it 240. I could make it 10 times 12 and get 120. I know my answer is going to be between those two products, 120 and 240. That does not eliminate any of my answers. So now I'm multiplying 16 times 12. 2 times 6 is 12. So I have a 2 in the ones place. These both have a 2 in the ones place, so that doesn't help me out here. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Now I'm going to move to the tens place, and that's why I have my 1 here. I have 6, 1. I add these together. I get 192. 192. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson are building a rectangular storage shed. The floor of the shed will measure 7 3/4 feet wide by 5 1/4 feet long, which is a reasonable estimate for the area of the floor of the shed. First of all, I want to draw a picture, because if it gives me a shape, I want to have a picture on it. And we know it's 7 3/4 and 5 1/4. I'm looking for the area. Then I'm going to write my formula for area. Area equals length times width. So area would equal 5 1/4 times 7 3/4. But now this is asking me for a reasonable estimate. So if I do area equals 5, because 5 1/4 is closest to 5, times 8, because 7 3/4 is closest to 8, my estimate would be 40. So the area would be approximately 40 square feet. Slices of an apple pie and cherry pie were eaten at a buffet. The model below are shaded to show the fraction of each of the pie that remained. What fraction of the pies were eaten all together? Well, this part, the white part here, is what's been eaten. So 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2/6 of this one has been eaten. 3/8 of this one has been eaten. So I want to find the total amount altogether, which means I'm going to have to add. I'm going to have to add 2/6 plus 3/8. I can't do it unless I have a common denominator. My common denominator is going to be 24. I know that. I look at a multiplication chart. The row that starts with 6 and the row that starts with 8 gives me a common denominator of 24. So both of these are going to have a common denominator of 24. What do I multiply by 6 to get 24? Well, 6 times 4 is 24. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 2 times 4 is 8. What do I multiply by 8 to get 24? I multiply that by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 8 24ths plus 9 24ths is going to give me 17 24ths. Number 7. The figure below shows centimeter cubes placed on a grid paper. These cubes form the base of a rectangular prism. So this is the base, the first layer. And this layer has a total of 12 centimeter cubes. 12 centimeter cubes. Which of the following shows the volume of the prism if 4 more layers were added to the top of the base? 4 more layers. So for volume, it's going to be the area of the base times the height. So volume is going to be 12, because there are 12 in the base, times, it says, if 4 more layers are added to the base. So the base is 1. If we add 4 more layers to it, that's going to be 5. So times height, 12 times 5, and 12 times 5 would be 60. So that answer choice would be C. What is the product of 3 7/75 times 6 7/10? Show your thinking. Well, product means I multiply. So I have, let's say, the product equals 3 7/75 times 6 7/10. I want to estimate, especially when I have decimals, it helps me out a lot. So if I change this to 4 times 7, my estimate is going to be 28. So my answer is somewhere around 28. Now, when I'm multiplying, I don't include the decimal points. So I'm going to really multiply this 375 times 67. I don't need to put a 0 here. When we multiply, they don't have to be the same distance apart. We can just do 375 times 67. My answer should be somewhere near 28. 7 times 5 is 35. So I have 35 ones, or 5 ones and 3 tens. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 3 more, 50, 51, 52. So I have 52 tens, or 2 tens and 5 hundredths. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 5 more is 26. So I have 26 hundredths, or 2,600ths. Now I'm going to my tens place. The 0 goes there because I'm going to my tens place. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 3 more is 45. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 4 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22. I add these together, 5, 2. So I have 25125. My estimate, I said, was about 28. So my answer would be 25 and 125 thousandths.